The shocking alleged Minnesota daycare fraud scandal appears to be expanding by the day.
Well, joining us now to discuss this unfolding scandal, along with a broader range of fraud cases involving illegal aliens, Democrats, and others, is Congressman Brad Knott from North Carolina. He's also a member of the House Judiciary and Homeland Security Committees. Good morning to you, Congressman.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Well, let's start with Minnesota first. This is a massive scandal that could cost taxpayers billions of dollars. And we want to show you a clip of two Minnesota residents expressing their frustration and their support for efforts to crack down on this staggering fraud.
Do you like what they're doing?
Absolutely. Keep it up. I can't understand what's wrong with the people that say that this isn't right.
Twin Cities area here, I mean, this is huge for everybody talking about it. As a business owner, it bothers me because I pay a lot of taxes.
Well, many people, such as these citizens, have already lost faith in the government. Some are now questioning why they pay taxes at all if they are going to be abused in this way, Congressman. So what do you have to say to those Americans?
Yeah, they have the right to be outraged. That's a very righteous anger that we just heard. And when you think about the scale of this fraud, it is jaw-dropping. But what's also alarming is how obvious it is. I was a former federal prosecutor. I came across fraud of every type: tax fraud, Medicaid fraud, Medicare fraud, COVID fraud. But I never came across any fraud that was so obvious as what we see in Minnesota. And you look at the leaders of Minnesota, Tim Walz, Keith Ellison, they have made a career about bragging about all that they do and all that they give to the immigrant community, illegal or legal. And when you look at this, a young man with an iPhone can uncover billions of dollars of fraud. It is a real indictment on the leadership of Minnesota. It affects that state, and it affects the whole country. And I don't think we've heard the end of this story yet.
Yeah, I agree with you. But now that we are seeing this story, the large-scale fraud that is, it raises questions about, well, what may be happening in larger blue cities and states? Does this, Congress that you are actually in right now plan to review other states and similar, cities for their criminal activity?
Yeah. Well, the administration and Republicans have worked very diligently, whether it was with DOGE, whether it was with reforms in the Big Beautiful Bill, to really tackle waste, fraud, and abuse. Who were the loudest naysayers? The Democrats, especially those from deep blue states. And we know that the daycare industry, as an example in Minnesota, has contributed millions of dollars to the Democratic Party. And it's a very simple equation. You steal billions of dollars from the government, you employ your friends and your family, you waste money, you live lavishly, and then you contribute to the enablers. And that is the Democratic Party. Tim Walz saw nothing wrong with this scheme until it became public, until there was so much outrage he couldn't avoid it. And even today, rather than saying we messed up, he's blaming Republicans. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
I mean, real Americans are suffering because of waste, fraud, and abuse, and we're working on the Republican side to stop it.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, when you turn the light on, many of the Democrats start running, just like you mentioned.
Well, Congressman, you were a prosecutor, and as someone who worked inside the system, do you see anyone going to jail for these alleged crimes? And also, if you could just talk to us about the death threats that this young man is getting.
When I was a prosecutor, I went after every lead I could aggressively. And unfortunately for Minnesota, people like Tim Walz hire people like Tim Walz. And I don't see a lot of aggressive enforcement right now. Hopefully, there can be some federal action led by the White House to uncover exactly what's going on. But there needs to be an aggressive pursuit here. And I do not think it will be a very difficult case. But when you have local and state law enforcement like Keith Ellison, like Tim Walz, who favor these communities over the American communities that are suffering, it's a real obstacle. It's a real obstacle. And again, aggressive law enforcement should not be partisan. It should be Democrat and Republican. And again, I hope that there will be a very serious investigation and prosecution with this case.
Well, let's turn to another obstacle, with health care, and what the GOP can do for Americans who are looking for better policies and better options. Now, before Congress left for the holidays, House Republicans passed a health care bill called the Lower Health Care Premiums for All Americans Act. It passed by just 5 votes, and thankfully, it included no provisions for Obamacare subsidies. But beyond what we know thus far, can you explain what the GOP is planning on health care as we head into 2026?
Absolutely. There's a robust effort in the Republican Party to deliver a healthcare system that provides affordable options for every family in the United States. I want to be very clear here. The Democratic Party is incentivized to disrupt that progress. They may want to throw more money at it. They may want to do a list of A, B, and C's. But Republicans have already made progress here. We voted to outlaw illegals from getting free health care. We wanted to tighten restrictions on who can receive Medicaid. We want to make European countries pay their share for American medicine. All of those things will reduce costs. Right now, we're working to increase the vitality of the marketplace. We want people to be able to buy health care and healthcare plans that fit them personally rather than having to pay for health care that they will never use. That's what the Obamacare model does. It's essentially a redistribution effort from healthy people to other groups, whether they're immigrants or otherwise. And all of those efforts that I just mentioned came without one single Democrat vote or any Democrat support. Again, politically, the Democrats are incentivized to disrupt this progress. And if they can do it, they think they'll win in the short term. Republicans are working to deliver for the American people. The Democrats are working to win the midterms, and that's a real problem when you are tasked with delivering solutions to the American people.
Congressman, briefly, I have to ask you this follow-up question. The backbone of the American economy rests on small businesses.
No question.
And they're getting crushed, as well as the individual, with regard to healthcare cost premiums. Now, is there something in this new bill, and possibly still on the table, to allow businesses to actually join forces to better bargain for a collective lower premium across, let's say, small businesses that may even be in different industries?
100%. Economies of scale and a freer market are linchpins to this bill. And whether it's allowing associations to develop, whether it's allowing churches or places like Costco to offer healthcare plans, we are working feverishly to make those reforms so that there will be more competition, there will be more options, and there will be more availability, which will ultimately drive down costs. But again, we are getting zero help from the other side of the aisle. They want to shut the government down. They want costs to go up. They want to maintain the status quo for politics. And Republicans are not biting at that apple.